guess what? I have, what were these? Plasma cutter heads. Very exciting, and I'm going to grab one. Welcome to episode 18. I'm going to finish setting up the crystal drill, create the crystal lift, or at least dig the shaft up, and start setting up the matter movers. Last time I created just some quick automation on cutter heads, so we're making steel cutter heads over here. They're getting brought over by the freight cart system to here. I had to fix this. This was originally just a small storage hopper, and that was transferring the steel cutter heads over into my coal, and then, yeah, right there, they were joining the coal. Or actually, it's probably coming from right there. Duh. Okay. I wonder if I can do up and then over. Maybe I didn't need the one-way, what is it? Directional storage hopper over here. But hey, since it's there, I'm not touching it. Let's see if now everything's all sorted out. So, my freight carts bring over the steel storage hoppers, these steel cutter heads. They run over into the plasma head charger, which has got 2 PTGs on it and enriched coal, so it's running a little slow, but that's fine. The ore drillers will go through plasma cutter heads pretty quickly, but not that quickly. Not so quickly that 10 seconds per is going to be a problem. There'll be other problems if there are problems. And okay, I think this might be fixed hopefully too. So, in theory, I am carrying around one of them. I want to be carrying around one of them because I'm going to go downstairs and start setting up the crystal. So crystal is hard. I guess that's what the in-game explanation of this is. It is too hard to drill with an ore extractor without having some sort of cutter head in there. We could use steel cutter heads, and I probably, if you're going to be running it down there all the time, definitely do use a steel cutter head. But since I was working on cutter heads anyway, I decided to get the full automation up and running. So, this isn't dug yet. I'm going to want it to be right in the center of here and in the center of here. Okay, we're going to want that there. I'm going to need some power for that. How does that... Oh, it's coming from right there. Okay, maybe we'll do that. And then I'm going to have to go up in the middle of the air to catch that. I thought I was over by 1, but I was not. Okay, let's do another row. I got all of the component network of freight carts set up, so those are getting picked up and brought over and fully automated there. That's great news. There we go. Up into the distance. This is where my cargo lift is going to be. I'm not even going to be setting up this cargo lift very quickly because I need tubes down here. I can't use conveyor belts in the cold caverns, and to make tubes I'm going to need crystal. So for a while, initially, I'm actually just going to be running this the manual way. I just set that as wait for full battery because if you don't, you have something like this that is a high power draw, it's possible to kind of starve your system and everything down there of power And I want to make sure it doesn't do that. So, probably, I'm just going to set up the drilling over here. I am ignoring you, Camobot. Ignoring you. Okay. Set up the drill here. Especially for right now when I'm grabbing things manually. That would be nice. I'm actually going to set up 2 storage hoppers. Oh, I don't want to do the enhanced drill motor. It uses a bit more power, and there's no reason to use up that power. I suppose I would like this to be automated on the power. That's easy enough to do. Okay. I'll probably do this way. And then... No, I think the Camobots are going to come along and suck on that. So... There we go. Yeah, that's totally efficient. Small pause while I sneeze and blow my nose. Man, allergies. They're a thing. Okay, so this is gathering up some crystal for me, which I will need upstairs. That is starting to dig the pit, though I'm not going to be using that much yet. I want to go start automating my cutter heads. And also, while I'm at it, I should probably set up whatever it is I'm going to need to set up for tubes. I don't think crystal is used on its own anymore. It used to be. Some things use crystal deposit, like crystal ore or whatever it's called, and some things use crystal clocks, but I think everything uses crystal clocks. And if that's so, that's convenient. I can actually just set up my crystal clock maker right over here. Let's go see if I can make a crystal clock maker. I've also been running up and down in between episodes, grabbing construction paste like crazy. You know what? I doubt I've researched it. I've been being careful not to research too much to try to lower my confusion about what has been researched. But I think I might be approaching that wrong. That is not a crystal clock. I think that just uses crystal clocks. These are not crystal clocks. Okay, wait a minute. This is the icon, but it's an attack scanner. Okay, I guess I need to do some research. What's over here? Whatever my research is, the good news is it should not take long at all. I got nice, full system here, just waiting for me to pick something. Crystal dynamics. That sounds relevant. Alright, that's going to use up a bunch of lithium and a bunch of iron, but no problem. Alright, we'll ignore that while it does its thing. And the next thing I was working on was moving down those cutter heads. So I wanted to use matter movers, at least in the center. And then out from the center, I will use the logistics falcors. So first off, let me make maybe 4 matter movers. Just doing the basics. Crafting. And then for a logistics falcor, that's a whole thing. We're going to do auto upgraders. I'm going to do 10 of them. And then I'm going to want 10 of these back. So, falcors, I can only craft 2 of them. Why is that? Because I'm low on iron gears. There that goes. And I can make some more. I'm not going to be able to make 10 logistics falcors without standing around, so I won't be doing that. I'll make 6 though. Or 5. No, let's go get more secondary upgrade modules. So definitely I really should be setting up my awesome crafting area. I've put it off a lot longer this time than I normally do. Because I didn't have to. Usually by now, before they reconfigured what goes into crafting, I would be just absolutely desperate for inventory space, but I guess they fixed that up a bit.
Crafting. Which
means that I have not desperately needed yet to, I'm gonna need a beacon. Isn't that right here? I'm pretty sure it goes right there, so maybe I haven't researched it. Yes, falcor beacon. I need logistics falcors and falcor beacons together for this to work. Threat scanners and a ton more iron gears. I'm gonna go help along the iron gears a bit. So I appreciate that they've made crafting not use quite so many different kinds of plates and wires and all that. However, now it's let me get away with bad habits and not set up my automated crafting a little longer than I should have gone. And then I'm gonna need threat scanners. Oh, right. I was actually supposed to be dropping off a bunch of iron bars just to help this along. And then I'm just gonna make 4, maybe 4 threat scanners. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I can't do anything without the iron gears there. Let's go start setting up the matter movers. So I haven't used matter movers before. I'll probably do something really dumb the first time, but then totally this will start making sense. I got plenty of coal being delivered here. I think the easy way to do this might be to add 1 more of these. And then how does the matter mover? I wanted it just a little bit away from this, so that way I can keep using the power as I go down. But I don't want it to be so close that I keep getting them all stuck together. There we go. A range of... an attached storage hopper. That should work. Place on a wall to transmit vertically. So, in theory, I think that's on the ground. I don't really want that to, okay, let me stick. We're just gonna do one of these. And then, let's see if I can stick the matter mover right on it. Oh, come on now. Where did I stick it? Oh, there we go. All the way to the end. Aim at a storage hopper. Okay. So is that the part we aim? I guess we'll find out. Where are you going? And now I'm gonna have to dig down manually. I'm just gonna... I only need a 1 wide, but I do need to see when I hit 64 meters. So I'm gonna do 2. And I need to add a storage hopper down at that 64 meters. Okay. or so. I'm going to want a storage hopper right here, and I want it to be very small so we don't have a bunch of them gumming up the system. So I actually made some logistics hoppers. Okay. In theory, if I aim that properly... That didn't work. I don't think it's... Well, it might be too low. Okay, let's put it right here. Well, something is not working. I can always stick the next matter mover right there with a... Put a battery here. And a matter mover right here. That seems to work well. Other than I just got myself stuck, and that one isn't actually dropping anything. So I'm gonna take that off, fly back up here, and try to figure out what I did wrong. Whoa! Probably I have it aimed wrong. Aim at a storage hopper. So I'm rotating it right now. Place next to an unlocked storage hopper. It's holding a plasma cutter head. Aim at storage hopper. I don't know. Maybe it's just a problem because there's something on top of it. I get the feeling that I'm... Oh, hey, like, it looks like it should have that pointed down at the other storage hopper. Okay. Let's just transmit around some coal, I guess. Stick a power there. It has power. It has a storage hopper. Attached storage hopper is empty or locked. It's got added and removed. It is not empty. Okay, we'll do another storage hopper. Copper bars. Well, if this continues being a disaster, I'm just going to edit it all out. So you guys have no idea I'm an idiot. It's got holding a copper bar. It's supposed to be aimed at a storage hopper. If I have to use a giant storage hopper, that is really going to throw things off. Okay. I feel like that's aimed. It took my copper bar. You know what? Let's put that there. We got... Ah! That's working. Okay, so that little green thing needs to be pointed away. Okay, noted. Also, I think I lost a copper bar somewhere. I wonder where it went. Now, that should be it, right? Yeah, okay, let's jump down and do the next level. Uh-oh. Oh, come on. There we go. And then we're gonna stick another transmitter right here. Turn that away. Dig down. No more than 120. I didn't even have to do it that much. Okay, so this needs to have a storage hopper, which is gonna just be a logistics storage hopper, I hope. Let's make sure that arrives. Yes! Full of plasma cutter heads. That's kind of fast. And then I'm gonna want to get all of our cutter heads from that there thingy, technical term, thingy, over to the various vein things. Things that are being cut out of veins. Okay, let me find the best way. So I think that might be, I'm going to put a second one of those right here. I'm going to put the next transmitter right beside this. Okay. And then I'm going to have to go fix what I just broke over here. Which is really, I'll just add one more of these. Hit F9 to get rid of those annoying black bars I always trigger. And that's kind of creepy. I'm gonna need a beacon. I don't think I had any beacons because I was still working on them. So for getting the things distributed out on the floor, I could do a whole bunch of conveyor belts, or I can use falcors. I really like logistics falcors. Used to be able to do the cutter heads all the way down using logistics falcors, but they kind of changed how they worked a little. It was probably a bit of an exploit. They nerfed it, so now it's not ideal. You have to, if you're trying to do logistics falcors down into the earth, you still can. You just have to clear like 8 blocks on top of a beacon and then put them at like every 64 or so down. But the problem is they will get into loops of coming back to themselves over and over again. So they will, you know, you have a level at 120 and it has one cutter head in there and it'll keep flying back and grabbing the cutter head on that floor over and over again. So it's just doing a loop of bringing itself back the same cutter head, because you have to put the beacon one away from where the logistics falcor is, or maybe you don't have to, but that does not fix the problem. I remember that much. Uh-oh. I broke something. Where was my gun? I definitely took apart a gun without noticing, so gun right there, sounds good. And that covers it plenty. So now I'm gonna want a beacon on this. Though, I have a feeling that's about to block what's being transmitted down, and you can't put it on the side of the storage hopper, unfortunately. So, let's just daisy chain these little together, and this one can have the beacon. And then I have to dig above it a little. It's going to say it does not have sky clearance. Luckily, its idea of sky clearance is 8 blocks or something like that. Maybe 10. There we go. And then, for any of these, I just have to set up a logistics falcor to run and fetch that cutter head for me. So again, we're going to use the logistics hopper for that. They end up being really useful, the logistics hoppers. Whenever you're like, man, I need to use a hopper here, but I don't want to have 100 cutter heads sitting here wasted, that's when you use logistics falcor. So, in order to keep this from filling up with ore, I have to set it to remove only. If it wasn't set to remove only, it'd be putting iron ore in there and breaking it. And since this is remove only, the logistics falcors will not deliver to it. So, again, I'm going to have to daisy chain these together a little bit. And let's make sure I have a gun. Yes, I do. And now, for logistics falcors, you have to choose what they're fetching, which is a plasma cutter head. And it's going to take a minute to... Wow, they sped that up. Sometimes it takes a minute to configure the route. That is really a lot faster. It used to take me like 5 minutes sometimes for it to find a simple route and come back. But yeah, it comes over here, grabs the plasma cutter head, everything moves through the system, and it's bringing back over the cutter head. The cutter heads make a vein last longer. If you're using in particular a plasma cutter head, see it said upgraded? Now we have our plasma cutter head in there. It's only going to take out 2,000 or so ore before it has issues. But, am I carrying one? No, I put it downstairs. In that time, it's going to extract a lot more ore per time. So it creates both the appearance that it just sped things up. Like, I mean, it's drilling every so many seconds still, but it's putting out a lot more ore each time, 4 or 8 times that. And it's actually wasting less ore as it pulls it out of the veins, so your veins last longer. It is noticeable with a steel cutter head, which is a much lower percentage, and with a plasma cutter head, it's I find it quite stark. Tin is just kind of limping along. Let me add one for tin and see if that's more noticeable, because I had upgraded my drill motor on iron, but I had not yet on tin. I'm gonna need remove only logistics hopper and place my falcor actually goes. Plasma cutter head as well. I'm gonna, at least I have a gun now, so I can shoot the camo bots. Be careful when you shoot camo bots. If you're standing too close, they will punch you in the face and hurt you very, very badly and kill you. Here we go. Got a plasma cutter head loaded in, and it immediately kind of sped up a bit. It's not super fast, but I'd say it's doubled the pace on that tin. Maybe a little better, but doubled ish. Alright, and then while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade to the enhanced drill motor. I usually like to put everything at enhanced drill motors. There are a bunch of upgrades still beyond that, like magnetic and stuff. But when you do have a magnetic drill motor, it's just so fast that you have to have like multiple lines to carry it, or you need a lot more power. And typically, when I do a magnetic cutting head, the limiting factor becomes something else in the system, and so going up and beyond that would be silly. Okay, quit eating all my power. There we go, and that filled up quite quickly. So now we have about 5 plasma cutter heads kind of wasted in the system. That is not bad at all. And this has still got a while to go before it runs out, but don't do this manually. Don't do plasma cutter heads manually. Steel cutter heads last forever, but plasma cutter heads are meant to run out very quickly. Without automation, there's no point to doing them. Okay, so that is the setup. I'm going to need to run around and set up some falcors, set up some other things. My research should be finishing up soon. After my research finishes up, I'm going to want to create some clocks. Let me go check on the research. If it's not done yet, I will end the episode. So between episodes, I'm getting into that pattern where I show you guys how I do things once, but I don't make you sit there while I do it 10 times in repetition. And I'll do that again. We are on the last pod. I apparently have a sense for this. That's amazing. If I had set up infused coal for this system, it would be already done, but I kind of want to get rid of this. It's in the way, so I'm just leaving it on coal so that it'll use up more coal and be gone sooner. There we go. Crystal dynamics. I have collected my research. And over here, first I gotta actually research the recipes. Right. No, that's a text scanner. Yeah, like the fusion drill motor, you would have to do a lot to make sure you are actually taking advantage of that. Ooh, and we also have the crystal coal infuser. That is the upgrade to the enriched coal. At that point, when you have the green ones, the crystal coal infused ones, whatever that is, they're really nice. The coal power is plenty to power you on everything except things like, until I get the fuel turbines, and then I use the fuel jet turbines for things which require a lot of power, but everything smaller, I just use the upgraded coal, and it's plenty. You can even continue to use only coal for everything, but you start to use a lot of coal, and you kind of have to, snake things around a bit. But still, just like a solid chunk of like 10 PTGs with the upgraded twice coal, is probably more power than a jet turbine, so hey. Does anybody know what I was doing? Nope, no clue. Crystal clock maker. Oh, iron gears. As soon as I get iron gears, though, I'm gonna go ahead and set that up and manually feed in a little bit of crystal, which I should have plenty of because of reasons. So I could stick this over in my room. That would make a lot of sense. But if I did, the freight carts would have to pick up the crystal over here, take it over there, turn it into crystal clocks, and then feed that out. I kind of think, since crystal isn't used anywhere, only crystal clocks are, I'd rather just stick it here. And what am I going to replace? How about this? This. And then there that goes. I'm going to want to bring in some coal here. Storage hopper, give it a station. Fuel, coal, enriched coal, 100, I'll do 2 carts. That goes there. I need a couple of logistics grommets. And then I'm going to want a cargo lift here still. 2, 3, 4. As soon as I have tubes, I'll still be setting up a lift. So I'm going to have to stick that up there. So I'll do that same PTG setup there. The best way to power this, though, so it's going to have 2 over. Probably, I just want to do it kind of similar to how I set up the smelters, and stick up PPG right there. And a storage hopper right there. I definitely cheese things a bit the way I get this going. Well, this... There we go. And this is gonna hold my crystal clocks. And let's see if I needed any containers along the way. Yes, I did. No valid attached hoppers. This only requires 1 power per second. I probably could have figured out some, like, shooting things across, but I needed the power anyway for this cargo lift. I need this to be remove only. And to hold my crystal deposit. There we go. And it sticks them out one at a time. So we have crystal clocks. I'm going to put that on components. I'll remember that later a little better. Crystal clocks. Target stock 0. Let the carts come. There we go. And now I can create tubes. So this is definitely working on more. It's out of power. I got 2, but that's just not enough. Let's add 2 more freight carts to try to keep up on that call. Make sure I can make tubes, and that will be the end of the episode. Next episode, I will finish setting up my crystal lift, and in between, I'm going to finish setting up my matter movers and logistics falcors. I don't know what else I'm doing next time. Transport pipes. Hardened machine block. So I guess next time I'll be setting up the hardened machine block machinery. And they'll just go over there. It's pretty simple. So thank you for joining me for episode 18. Thank you for joining me in the series. Subscribe if you want to keep track of what I'm doing on YouTube. And talk to you later.